to go to some other neighbor's house and then used to watch the TV. Yes, we have seen that phase also. You want to
just one more thing to add. Like for example, look at the generation of today. None of these kids, like the guys who are sitting on the stairs, none of those guys must be watching TV nowadays. I bet these guys don't watch TV.
Yes.
They've grown out of it. Even you know.
No, he's the youngest.
Actually close to German's age.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So just to add to Dr. Suresh, what you asked, I think AI and your question, we are actually now facing in the corporate world what Charles Darwin, gave 100 years back, which is theory of evolution. The survival of fittest is going to be the name of the game. AI is not going to replace jobs, but people who know AI are going to replace people who don't know AI. It's the reality.
Yes.
Like Suman, you said that generative AI or generative technologies was introduced in 2016. Google did a lot of experiments around it, but it's ChatGPT that that caught everyone's imagination. And Google, which has been the darling of the stock markets for 20 years, 2 decades, was punished by the same investors because when Google decided to copy ChatGPT and launch its own AI version called Bard, and Bard was not able to answer the questions that were being asked, they lost $120 billion on a single day. And we just talk about Adani losing this market capitalization. Look at Google market capitalization that was eroded in just 1.5 days by investors. Because for the first time people thought that Google is losing the game to another player. Similarly, I don't know how many of you know, but there is a brand called NVIDIA, which is a Taiwanese brand, is making microprocessing chips powered by AI, and just look at the valuation the investors are giving. It's now $1.5 trillion, bigger than Intel, bigger than Qualcomm, and just happened in just 15-20 days. So if you are not learning what's going to happen, you'll soon be replaced.
I wanted to ask you one thing, which is, I think everybody is very concerned about it. That is the ethical consideration of AI. So, what ethical consideration should organizations keep in mind when deploying this AI?
Absolutely. I think there are multiple different things that need to be taken in account there. So first of all, AI is as good as the data that you train it on. So if the data is garbage, the output will also be garbage. So it's basically, in terms of like, let's say culture or the values, if the data, the values that are fed in that data, those are good, then of course the values that AI systems have going forward, those would also be good, and we won't get to that Terminator kind of situation later on, right? So it's basically any kind of AI that is being deployed in a company, it needs to have certain guardrails in place where, certain guidelines, certain kind of rules are being set so that it does not go out of context and, give false information or do something, wrong, let's say. So I think that is one thing. Second thing is, of course, in terms of privacy as well. So if AI is being deployed, the employees should be kept in like a transparent kind of, there should be transparency basically where they're told that, okay, AI will deploy that, and there should be like proper consent taken from employees that, okay, your data, like employee data or customer data, whatever, that will be used to train our AI models. So I think those couple of things are there, and just keeping everyone informed and educated, like how they can best take advantage of AI and make the best use out of it in a productive manner. I think that is sort of needed going forward.
So there are certain, I think some training organizations must be there who are training such AI-driven programs, right? So, coming back to you, Samisa, one concern with AI is potential bias of algorithms, right? So how can organizations ensure that AI-driven decisions such as recruitment or performance evaluation are fair and unbiased?
Yeah, so like you asked that question on ethics and of course the biasing. Like someone you said, it is about the data that gets fed in.
True.
Right now, ChatGPT has a limitation because it can't process data post 2021. But that of course other are kind of because there are plugins. You can look at what's happening on Google.
Since
You
you
can
have
do a
used
yeah. You
those
can
plugins.
you do a counter check and figure out whether the data is right or not. Ethics will remain an issue, and similarly, the bias will remain an issue even for technology because ultimately it is about what are you feeding in, right? And the output will be that. Machine learning is going to solve that over a period of time. Right now, machine learning is still in the nascent stage. Let's say what generative AI was in 2016. You don't know when the inflection point will happen in that sense because it can happen in technology any other day. But right now, the way things are, see, governments will also take their own sweet time to catch up. The GDPR launched in Europe in 2017-18. Government of India has launched the Data Protection Act. You will have in technology such kind of things where polarizations will happen to the great extent. There will be someone who's not on social media at all, and then there will be someone who will be always on social media. So you will have those kind of people also coexisting. But yeah, on your question, specifically on bias, I think when machine learning will start moving forward and faster, that's where the human bias will go off from technology.
So would you like to say something on